Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at XG's Left Right Dance Practice Fix version. I've been going through and doing an entire marathon on XG, and this has just been such a wonderful time for me to not only get to understand the group more, but understand the fan base more. And a lot of things you guys have provided so much insight for me. It really feels like I get a true understanding of what makes this group great outside of just great overall cleanliness, great individuality, and overall aesthetic of their tracks. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look. I really like this song. I mean, I like a lot of their songs, but I really like this one. That group is cute. Wow. I will say, out of the routines that we've seen, this one is not as clean as some of their other work, but it doesn't discredit the fact that it's still clean. You know, it just doesn't have that crisp refinement, but I think it's because of the type of style it is. I don't hate that at all. I love this. That little ta-ta. Goodness gracious. Oh, that was cute. We heard a little woo. Yeah. Nice. I freaking love that groove so much. I love that. I love that. That is a big room, guys. That's a huge room. Okay, so bringing it from the top, I really like this one. Out of all the tracks, this one feels, it has a sense of nostalgia about it. It could be because of the rhythm of the chorus itself. It does take me to that. I can't pinpoint this specific song, but it reminds me of the era when like the original Princess Diaries came out. There was a certain style of track that was coming out in pop music around that time, and it just gave off that energy. I mean, if that rings a bell for you and you want to contribute to that, I mean, you can, but so from my previous video, I was able to name everybody, but I could only like, I think I was only able to pick out 2 people. Now I think I'm ready to pick out 4 people. And also I did figure out who the leader was, and I took my guess and I was correct. So now I get to talk about why my gut was telling me she was our leader. So from the beginning, this was great. I love the icon. You know, I love whenever groups, I would say ATs is also included in this. Groups have like it's like a watermark almost, where it's just masked over in front of the clip. It just feels like it ties together the collaboration. We know what era we're in, or we understand the overall what we're about to get into, which I really like. Having right here this energy here, I do like what she did. I do feel though that the technique she was trying to do here, I know you're trying to hit, it was taking a more robotic approach, so there was an extra reverb there, but because of the type of timbre it is, going strobing versus having a reverb to that technique would have registered better for the timbre that she was trying to hit. Now, does it discredit the technique she was going for? No. That was just more of not even a suggestion, just a note of if she wants it to feel more refined, you know, because even her hair gives it away too of how much reverb she's taking place on that. She was to think more coming up, especially when you have people that are coming to frame around her. Coming through now, I know this person in the right here. So far I'm 3 for 3. This is Harvey. I'm gonna lock down. I think I have her in. I know who she is. Like if I see her in the group, I can find her. Like I'm there. Now, if I see a regular video of them not with each other, and I don't know if it's an XG video, I don't know if I can find any of them. But I'll say in an XG group, I know who Harvey is. And so I'm locking that in. This speed change was freaking cool. If you notice, they're twisting onto the ball of the foot on this their left foot that they're twisting on, and the heel of the front foot. That's how you get that illusion in the spacing the way that you do. You notice with Harvey, she has both of her legs straight, and then that is Jurin, right? Jurin was she's our leader. She was doing more of a bend of the knee here, and then my dancer here, I'm guessing this is Hinata. This is Kokona, Jurin, Harvey. One of these guys is Maya, one of them is Juria, and one of them is Chisa. Those are my last 3 that I have to put. So maybe I'll guess all 7 of them at the end, and then y'all tell me if I'm right. I think I'll feel really good if I got them right this early. I wasn't expecting to get all of them right. So the twist, and then you see how quick it was. Doom, 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 turn. Boom. Yeah, love that. I love that. Here, I know what you want. So here is why I'm going to say that Jurin is our leader. My gut is telling me she is one of the first people featured vocally in almost every single track. I think that was my thing. She's a leading by example type of leader. She's setting up the tone. Her vocals is what we see first. Not saying that she's the first feature movement-wise, but singing vocally, I think she's one of our first people that we hear every track. Like, I think so. Now, don't quote me on it. Actually, hold on real quick. Now I'm going to before I even continue, let me make sure I'm right. All right, so I went and looked. The only one where she's not the first person to vocally have more than just a sound or a phrase is Jurin. She's first, and all of them except for Tippy Toes. Tippy Toes, I think it was somebody else, maybe Chisa, possibly. But Jurin, she is the first person that established a vocal sense of dominance in the feature for every single track, including move number 4. She is the first feature in that one. Even though it's a choreography clip, she's the first person featured in that. Now, I didn't cite back to the moves, but it also, you know, that's just, I think that's what I was picking up on, was the fact I see her first and she's leading by example. She also has a more mature face is what it gives me. And also when you notice just how they interact with each other, a lot of people naturally look to her. I think it's just like, as like a mama bear kind of perspective, you know. I know here it's very placed, obviously, but I think I'm just trying to help understand why I guessed it right, because I'm not used to guessing correctly for these types of things, because normally I just don't guess because I'm not confident. But here, you guys, my alphas have made it safe for me to keep trying. So thank you for that. But here, yes, this is Duran. She's our leader. I know that. She sets the tone vocally. Outside from, I know with Mascara, you had somebody else in the very beginning, but she was doing just more, just placating to the backbeat. But she was our first, like, dominant, okay, very first vocal in the verse, let's go, kind of vibes. I love this do. So I will stand by, this one is not as clean as some of their other choreographies. Does that bother me? No, because especially this is the beauty of doing marathons. Whenever you know or see a group and you see their consistency and competency in a particular element or craft, you tend to be more forgiving when they're not necessarily showcasing the same caliber or energy there. You look for other reasons outside of them not being prepared. You know what I mean? Just like if you see a group who never does a one take and they always cut it, you're never going to expect them to not, to do a true one take. Or you'll be more impressed when they actually do a one take, and vice versa. Whenever you see a group only do one takes and then all of a sudden you see them do like it's chopped up, you think, oh, something must have happened. Like you really placate to the group whenever you see that. So here, I think it's about the style more so. It's just a different style. I really like I said, I like this song. I think it's gonna go on my Spotify. I think it's made it to that tier for me. I love this riding through with a polyrhythm happening where she hits that double, which is really nice. Right there, boom, the tension there, bringing it up. So it has that R&B tension in the groove, which is different than the last track that we saw, Shooting Star, I think, right? And I also say this too, for a girl group in K-pop, you're not used to seeing this aesthetic. This is a very different vein of tracks that girl groups don't really do often. At least in this era, they either go like the super girl crush perspective, or they go like the Blackpink vibe, Baby Monster vibe, or 2NE1. Or you go that overly like feminine style. I would say Twice was a really great example of they just popped off being like overly, they had a really nice feminine, cute, a lot of those types of aesthetics. Here it's very, it does have a westernized vibe about it, but it doesn't have the sensuality that comes with that sometimes. And I do appreciate that. I love that doo-doo boom, get it, and I love that here. Bleeding it through, I love that. And a lot of the accents to help promote other people to start becoming the feature. Now, I'm going to take a guess. Please be nice to me if I am wrong. I think this is Chisa. Was she the one who did the Galen Hooks solo? That's my guess. And a lot of times too, I try to go off of hair, and it's the hair that I recognize. So we know this is Harvey. I think this is Hinata because her hair is blonde. That's what I'm guessing. This is Chisa. This is Kokona. This could potentially be Maya. This could be Juria. That's my guesses. I'm going to lock that in. Please tell me if I'm right. I think I got a couple of them maybe mixed up, but I have all of their names. That's way better than what I have with 17. I watched over 50 of their reactions. I still only know about 7 out of the 13. So I'm still very impressed at the ratio of the videos to the members. I'm doing pretty great here. Revealing our new member. I love this here. I love how they branch it over. I think it's the little details of the refinement of the angles that they're doing, which is why it doesn't feel as clean. Once again, it doesn't bother me nearly as much at all because it's still very placed and purposeful, and I can see exactly what the visual is. It just doesn't have that unhuman, realistic, kind of perspective. A lot of their angles that they execute sometimes don't feel like humans can do. That's what makes it captivating, And so I just feel like it's just more of we just get to see the choreography and vibe with it and enjoy it, just like having her moment of grabbing her hand. I really liked that. Yeah, no, drama queen, really great moment. Conversational is how they present their individuality, which I really like. Yeah, not left, right, da-da-da-da. And having her properly framed is beautiful. You have your lower levels, then you have everybody bringing it around the back. Left, right, da-da-da, and then dipping it down, which I really like. Down and da-da-da. Yes to that. Now we have Harvey all peeling it out and then having them join back in. And it's a great choice for her to go center with both because they had single arm on the left and single arm on the right. So the cleanest choice is having your center person go in the middle. Sometimes the middle person picks a side that can throw off symmetry, so that was a really great choice for her. That right, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, really great groove choice because it forces you to hold it through the da-da-da, like the drawing of the tone, da-da-da, over to the other side, which is great. Da-da-da-da-da-da, fun. All of that. D-D-D, D-D-D, and dip, and dip. So this one rides similar, like, complementary grooves with each other, which can be a bit tricky. Because for me, a lot of times my brain is able to process more complex movement before overly simplistic movement. Or grooves that ride whole counts or have an interesting syncopation that I'm not used to. So with this type of choreography, it can be a bit mischievously difficult, not in the energy or the mental capacity, but because how they choose to ride the rhythm is sometimes, and it's just they kind of flipped it like a 90-degree perspective of it, which we'll see in the course, which is why I really like it, because it's familiar movement, and the track sounds familiar, but it has its own twist to it, just like the track. So it feels very fitting to the track with the overall just package of it. And their commitment to the choreography as well is what helps bring that to life for me as a viewer and an analyst. So having this dive down, I love that moment where she goes down. We all bring it up. Love that energy. Notice that we go, only my feature had her arms up. Everybody else was a bit lower. This left, right, they have such a accent beginning and then they slow it down. Love that. Yeah, left, right. Notice that they have a head isolation. That's why it doesn't feel so loose, and it feels very restrained because you have the top and the bottom are fixed pointed and the chest is the only thing that's moving. So they're using a counter movement of their head to help create that moment, and I really like that. And then they sit it in da-na-na-na-na-na, conversational. I love it. Yep, left, right, left, right. Now, we're used to seeing that. That's more of a simpler kind of choreography setup. We've seen this a lot more than the move that we saw previously. That right there, boom, and dee-dee-dee, and then dipping it down in a really nice moment on the bass. Unison is really fun. I love that. Hey! I love that too. Also notice there, she does a really good job of providing morale, or it feels like she's a member, Jurin, our leader, it really feels like she's a member who fills in the gaps or fills in where is needed. It's really what kind of energy she gives off. I can't quite, here's the thing. All I have to go off of is their dance practices right now. I haven't seen the documentary. I haven't seen any of those things, so I can't really attest to their personalities, but she gives off that energy, so you tell me if I'm picking up on something that's like a very implicit characteristic about her that I may see in the documentary or something else, you know, but she really does give off that energy of she fills in the gaps as needed, and she's that type of leader to make sure everybody is as where they need to be, and she steps up whenever she needs to in certain circumstances, is what it feels like. Yeah, that. Do-dee-dee-dee-dee, yeah. And then they switch it down here. Now this right here, boom, boom. The reason why this is really nice, that left, right. We're normally used to seeing this City Boy Rock right here, but it's front, back, and it's more extroverted, and they travel it to the back. That I'm a big fan of. I love this groove a lot. Like, a lot. It's great. It's so simple, but it's such a freaking vibe. It makes me want to learn this. It really does. And I love it. And everybody has their moment of being able to kind of do their own thing. I did notice though right here, I do feel like a lot of them chose very similar hands, and I don't know if it was supposed to be an individual choice or if everybody was supposed to be mirroring or framing, but that would just be something to clarify. If everyone's supposed to be different, then we want to avoid having too many people that are close to each other making similar choices, because then it's going to look like, it feels like we didn't clean that part, you know? Even though all the other facets are good, everyone has to commit to different frames if you're choosing to go a more individualized point in that part of the choreography. But they all tied it together really well near this end. I can tell it's very clear when we're in unison, and that's why I make that note. Also note too, some of them are choosing to use the back to hit it, and some are isolating from the elbow, and that's why some of them look stronger and more full versus others that feel a little bit, it just feels weaker because you don't have that power in the back helping. And I love right here, pedal to the ground, and having everybody have more of a transition. I love that. That was great. Listen to the sound. She didn't have to do a lot to get her point across. And I think that's something else I'm picking up on. What I like about what they do is their moments of showing themselves does not overpower the integrity of how the choreography is set up. That I appreciate. We're not overkilling something, or you're not trying to stand out for the sake of standing out. It feels like this is me being able to present my own perspective vocally, and I want to make it easy to you, the viewer, to see the visual representation. And that I'm a fan of. I like that a lot. Yeah, boom, doom, doom, I'm bringing it over. This feels like a fingerprint to me. I feel like I've seen this before. Why do I feel like I've seen this before? You let me know if there's another, my brain is not braining as to where I've seen this. But I think it's from one of their other stuff. I don't know if it was before or after this. Anyway, we'll move on. I like the moment though. It's really cool. A little bit late. She was just a tad bit late in that add-on of the point. So let's go back and see that. Yep, deserve it. Like, it feels like she could technically kind of hit on deserve it, but because the other two hit at the same time, that's why I think that these three were hit very similarly, and then she hit a little late, I think is my note. But I like how we all pull in and have that column. She goes point, that left, right. And it's little moments like this. They're not engaging the same way, but honestly, I feel like they're having more fun in this one. It just feels that way. It could be because they're giving off, like they're encouraging each other while they're going through the track. And I think that it just feels very human and very communal. It feels very them. And it doesn't feel like the synchronicity is the main focal point of the track, as them enjoying each other's company is what it feels like. And I really like that. It's different. It's its own concept in itself, because they've already proven competency in synchronicity, like I've mentioned. They don't have to always do it. And they could have totally refined this the way that they normally refine it because it works, but they didn't. You know, it could be a turnaround time. It could be this, that, or the other, but I am a fan. I mean, sometimes it's nice to be able to just see them vibe out and see them as humans, which is great. I know some of our arms are not quite on the same page in the sense of what's being utilized with the torso. So it's just an overall note. But notice the isolation is really nice. It's fun, tasteful. Having her own moment, which I like. Notice her shoulders are a bit tense here though, so that would be my one note, is to have her like really lower the shoulders whenever she has these accents. It'll feel nicer. I know she's trying to hit. It's a very, very interesting transition. I don't know if it's just a preferencing or something, but I don't know how I feel about the transition itself is not really an issue. I don't see that at all. I think because she feels really restricted up here, it's difficult for me to see the practicality of the feet, but I know the feet are hitting the part of the music that so I get that. I think it's just the combination of the two with the restrictiveness of the shoulders that I feel like one component, if it was adjusted, it would really make her stand out in a really nice way that is complementary to what we've already seen with everybody else. But I like they join back in here, having that moment, which is nice. But notice that we really didn't get to see, she didn't really have a sense of her own lane this entire part until this part right here. But notice these two were able to kind of be separated until it was time to be behind each other, but they weren't as separated. So that would be a refinement thing I would suggest. But I love that. That's really fun. And I like the complementary of their kind of going off of the vocals where we're kind of handing off the lyricism. I like that a lot. And then having our dancers in the back complement that. That little love that new feature. Yeah, da 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 boom. This is a really good style for her. I think her best style so far that I saw was Shooting Star easily. I really enjoyed that one on her. Yeah, I really do enjoy how they build out, how they allow everybody to have their moment. It also feels, correct me if I'm wrong, it really feels like there's more equal line distribution with this group than with a lot of other groups, which I think is very impressive. I do think, like, I know we have our vocalists naturally are going to have more, especially on the harmony side, but I do feel like I'm able to see everybody have their moment, not to the degree of seconds, but it does feel more full, like we really got to see somebody versus they get to sing like 2 words and then they move away. You know, with some groups when they have a lot of people, it's hard to not have to do that without making the track 5 minutes. But I mean, we're looking pretty close to it being about a 4-minute track, but it's still very nice and it's very entertaining and it works. And the reason why it feels that way is because the BPM is slower, you know, and that's why it's a good vibe all around. Yeah, my ma-na-na-na, left, right. I just love that. And notice they're not just doing here, they're creating a figure 8 with the chest, which I think is really great. And then they go boom through, and it's the same thing that they did in the first chorus, but it's just really nice that you see they're doing a good job of being intentional about the depth of the groove, not just making it a 2D representation. And I like that. Everybody seeing here? Simple. Left, right. People go up, people go down. Really good way to showcase levels. Yeah, 1, 2, hit, 1, 2, 3, hit. So the groove, that was a really smart choice to go from the 2 into the 3 because it matched the pattern of the vocals and it really helped tie the movement together without having to do such complexity there. You could ride through the groove and keep it effective a little bit longer with everybody. Yeah, fun and drop, having your levels established and then right back up. Impressive. Yeah, left, right, hit, left, right. This is just really, it's just that groove is probably one of my favorite grooves I think they've done. And the whole, like, everything I've seen. I love that groove so much. It just feels, it just looks like it feels so good to do, which is what you want your choreography to feel in the focal point side, especially if there's challenges involved. Now, I don't know if they're like a challenge type group where their stuff is like, oh, you need to do it as a challenge, which to each their own. I'm totally vibing with it. I did Crazy for ATs, but I did the BB Trippin' version because I really liked that one. And when I saw it, I was like, ooh, I want to do that. So I did learn that, and I know a lot of the choreography that ATs does is applicable as challenges, which is great and it's super fun. Here in this case, this makes it very desirable to learn because it just matches the music so well, and it makes me want to learn that and feel it in that way. And I think that's another thing. Their energy is contagious to me and how I'm receiving it. And I love it. Like, look, this feels like a genuine smile. You know, none of it feels fake, and all of them feel like they're actually liking what they're doing. And that makes me want to like the song. It's probably why I like the song so much, is it's just the natural influence of how they're giving energy and how I'm receiving it, and the natural cleanliness that comes with their integrity as a group. This is a really great energy here, and I love that with our leader in the middle. She didn't quite do a huge range on her upper body on that, but it was still, you know, it still was appropriate to what everybody else was doing, which I like, having them move over and traveling over the whole group. Over, hit, da, 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 da. So there's a lot of just movement sequences that work, like the chug through with the rotation and then keeping it linear in the up and down. I like that choice. Now we're here. Notice that some people have their elbow more out and some of them have it more front. That would just be a basic thing to clean, you know, so we have a little bit of just a baby discrepancy. I don't believe it's because of the camera, because I see a really big discrepancy here. So that would just be something to note, to refine. Yeah, and even though I know it's supposed to be, they're supposed to do, you know, the roll through, the point still stands. Even if I stop it, it should look like everybody's at the same part of that circle, especially when you're doing unison. Even the range of getting from point A to point B matters, just like that. And that hitting, cute. With the little walks, having the knock there. It's so small. That part is so small, but works. Oh, I didn't even circle her hand. Bless it. Her knock right there. I saw it the first time with just one person. I think everybody did it, and everybody did the sound. And I think that's just fun. It feels like we're building because of the quantity of people that are doing those little intimate moments. And I think that's a really great choreographic choice. They said, let's go. And they're like, this is a letter. They have the moment. And then they go through. I love it. Melting through. Da-da-da, Da-da-da. Yes, to this groove right here. I love it. Yeah, and I feel like everybody is able to groove the way that they feel comfortable. I also think it could be what they're wearing. They all look very comfortable. I would like to own all of these outfits for sure. Yeah, they're like, and they're like, hey, next. XG, we certified. Let's go. I'm assuming it's that blue check, right? That's such a vibe. Love that energy. They're not wrong. You know, sometimes K-pop groups or groups in general, they'll say something that's kind of out of pocket. You're like, yo, what makes you think you can say that? That was totally an in-pocket choice because it's like, they're like, XG, we certified. It's a little baby flex, but it shows how far they came from where they are now, even though it's been a short time in the realm, in the grand scheme of things compared to a lot of other groups that I've marathoned or looked at. It's really fun to see though. Like, I like realistic flexes. I don't like flexes where people are like, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah in the world. Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, it just feels a little more, not far-fetched, but it doesn't feel like practical. Like, people like practicality or like honest flexes. It feels more realistic and it makes you want to be a part of it more. That's just, it could just be a me thing that I'm projecting onto other people. But for me, that right there, it's XG, we certify. That's a true statement. And they chose to say it and they owned it. And it makes sense why they owned it. They are certified and it makes sense. So I love that. It's a little baby flex. I'm a fan. That right there. Down, 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 down. Ooh, that was fun. Love it. Get to have their moment there, now having them come to the front. Notice that some of them, I think it goes back to, if this is Hinata is, that's kind of one of her little chronic things I'm seeing, is her overtension of the shoulders, and that's what's making her movement feel more restrictive in the upper body. I see it a lot with dancers in the studio space, is the shoulders coming up, because it's just more tensing. And even regardless if everybody's bottom half or their lower body is on the same page, if the upper body's off, it can affect the overall look of the movement, especially if you're traveling on the midline of a level. This choreo is supposed to look like this is just a vibe with your friends, but because some of them look like they're using a lot of force to get into their grooves, it doesn't feel as relaxed. But their facial expression showcases being relaxed, but their movement feels like it's content that they're pushing through, but they're finding joy with being with those around them. So that's not even like a critique. It's just a note that I'm looking forward to seeing refinement on in the future if they choose to do this style of track with movement again. Because I do like the variety. It's a subtle variety, but it's effective. Even there, notice that whole little part, not technically as clean as what we've seen from XG, but it's still very enjoyable to watch, and I really like that. Even right here, notice some people are choosing to really, really show off those wrists and bringing them back, and others are choosing to just kind of do the choreo, vibing with it, and some are using the shoulders and some are not. This just goes back to that note. Even there are a lot of individual choices in how they're choosing to carry themselves in that section, but notice their spacing is in a great place, which makes it feel very fun. That was fun. I love that, all of that in the diagonal. Da-na-na-na-na. And a 1 and 2 and 3 and yeah. Yeah, so it goes knock, knock right there. Listen to the sound. Still feels just as full as the second time they did it. It's just enjoyable. And it goes left, right, boom, digging it down. Let's go. With the clap. Now, yeah! Love that. Love the kick. Doo-doo-choo, doo-doo-choo. Also, this is a complete side note because when I did look back, Jurin had longer hair in one of the videos in the move number 4. I really like her hair short. I'm assuming this is Jurin. I like her hair short a lot. It's really great on the frame of her face. It is. I like her hair long. I really like it short. It looks, I mean, all of them look great. That's just a really nice look on her. This whole ending here, I like. You know, it's all in unison. Now, some people's heads were not quite the same range on the side, like what we would see from some of their other concepts, but because of how they set up the whole thing, and they're allowing their performance and honesty of presence take more of the forefront over the synchronicity. That's why this one may feel different. than some of their other ones. And I like that because it showcases that they're real people with real feelings and real enjoyment of what they do. Nothing's worse than supporting people or being a fan of a group that doesn't like what they're doing because it feels like you're supporting a lost cause. This feels like I'm actually supporting somebody that gives a crap about their job and maybe about me, you know? And that's something that you want. And that's what I think, that's why I'm vibing with this. In comparison, I mean, all their stuff I've liked for different reasons. I like this one because of what I've said. Even that tail end, I love that resistance, and then they bleed it out, have their moment to walk to the back. Woohoo! Let's go to the back wall and lay on it. Yeah, that's what back walls are for. Lay on that bad boy. Very, very fun. Definitely a fan of that. It's fun. It's definitely got its charms, but it's what's the word? It does feel, it feels like XG, but a more relaxed XG, I think, which I think it's really cool that we get to see that.
We killed it.